Radio, voice of the voiceless.
It is essential to be up to date on happenings around you, and to make that easy for you, ladies and gentlemen, we present Freshlight, where we bring fresh newspaper headlines to the limelight. Mondays to Saturdays, 8:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio. Watch, like, subscribe, and make sure your notification is activated on our YouTube channel. You can also like and comment on our pages on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Al-IyamoyeTv and radio.
And I believe it is wherever you are watching. Welcome to Freshlight on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio. Today being the 13th day in the month of October, in the year 2023. Welcome to another interesting edition of Freshlight once again. My name is RISQAT SULAIMON.
I'm SOWOLE. Thanks for joining us on another episode of Freshlight on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio. Good morning.
Alright, on Freshlight, this is where we go to check different national dailies. Today won't be an exception. In the studio today, we have copies of newspaper. We have the Guardian, the Punch, and the Vanguard newspaper. We'll be starting Freshlight with the Guardian newspaper this morning. On the Guardian front page, we have poor funding, low patronage rob Nigerian sports 500 billion naira revenue yearly. Page 4 and 5 capture this story. Away from that, controversy trails appointment of lawyer Olukoyede as EFCC chairman. You can find this on page 6 on the Guardian newspaper this morning. Federal government talks tough on sexual harassment in universities. Page 7 captured this story. CBN lifts restriction on 43 items, unveils measures to address distortions. You can find this on business page on the page 10 on the Guardian newspaper this morning. Lastly, on the Guardian newspaper this morning, 23.8 million naira, 23.8 million family businesses contribute $200 billion to Nigerian economic yearly. You can find this on page 16 on the Guardian newspaper this morning. All of these and many more stories you'll find on the Guardian newspaper. Going into the details.
The first story on the Guardian newspaper this morning: controversy trails appointment of lawyer Olukoyede as EFCC chair. Controversies yesterday trailed President Bola Tinubu's appointment of Olanipekun Olukoyede as chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC). The president tapped Olukoyede to serve as the EFCC substantive chairman for a renewable term of 4 years in the first instance, pending Senate confirmation. The appointment follows the resignation of the suspended chairman, Abdulrasheed Bawa, who was later replaced by Abdulkarim Chuko, a one-term director of operations in the agency, in June this year. Olukoyede is a lawyer with over 22 years of experience as a regulatory compliance consultant and specialist in fraud management and corporation intelligence. He has extensive experience in operations of EFCC, having previously served as the chief of staff to the chairman 2016 to 2018 and secretary to the commission 2018 to 2023. President Tinubu further approved the appointment of Mohammed Azan Amajoda to serve as secretary of the commission for a renewable term of 5 years in the first instance, pending Senate confirmation. Controversy trails appointment of lawyer Olukoyede as EFCC chair, the Guardian newspaper.
Era of exporting raw materials over, says Alake. Our Minister for Solid Minerals Development, Dr. Oladele Alake, has restated the overarching policy of value addition by company with requisite license and permits to minerals, just as he made a clarion call to the potential investors that the era of exporting raw materials is over. He made this known yesterday in Lado Village, Udede area of Nasarawa State, which is the site of the foundation stone laying ceremony of factory for processing of lithium battery established by Gafeng Lithium Industry Limited. The minister said, under my supervision, I will emphasize value addition as policy of government for the mine sector, urging all stakeholders and potential investors to embrace it so as to boost the economy to bring foreign exchange. He further stated, while acknowledging the significance of the foundation stone laying ceremony for the processing at 16,000 tons lithium battery, Alake noted that it aligns with the cardinal policy of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu-led administration to create wealth and generate employment opportunities for the teeming youth through value addition to our extractive industry. To read details of this, you can pick the Guardian newspaper this morning. The era of exporting raw materials over, says Alake.
I still have the Guardian newspaper. Last time I said on Guardian newspaper, last sale my tour over the Onion market. The Lagos State government has sealed up the Mile 12 international market and over the Onion market over non-compliance with environmental laws. This was disclosed by the senior special assistant on new media to Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu Jubril Gawat on its X handle on Friday. Acting on the directive of the Commissioner for Environment, Mr. Tukumbo Wahab, enforcement operative from Lawman and CAP in a joint operation in the early hours of Friday, October 13, seal up the Mile 12 international market and Owode Onere market along Ikorodu Road in Kosofe local government. Gawat explained the decision to seal up the market is due to indiscriminate dumping and burning of refuse, filthy environment, blocked and literate drainage. He saw the menace of illegal and indiscriminate parking and the abandon of trucks on major roads, thereby impeding the free flow of traffic, are also reason for the closure. The Lagos State government has been closing down some popular market for environmental offences for over 1 week now. Lodged sailed Mile 12 Owode Onere market, the Guardian newspaper.
And away from that, moving forward on Freshlight this morning, I'll be picking another newspaper, which is Vanguard newspaper. On the Vanguard front page, we have CBN removes forex ban on 43 items. Page 21 captured this story. Tinubu appoint Olukayede EFCC chairman, Hamajoda secretary. You can find this on page 9. Also on the Vanguard newspaper this morning. Reps invite Minister Diaspora Commission over alleged maltreatment of Nigerians in Ethiopia. Page 9 captured this story. And away from that, on infrastructure revamp key to our economic policy. This is coming from the Vice President Shetima. Page 8 has this story. Era of exporting raw materials over, says Alake. Page 5 has this particular story. I'm moving to business market business news this morning. NNPCL Oil to deliver 2.5 billion US dollar AKK gas pipeline project next July. You can find this on page 8 on the Vanguard newspaper this morning. No discrepancies in OB certificate. This is coming from Labour Party, and you can find this on page 8 on the Vanguard newspaper this morning. Picking the bold headline, article cooked up allegations against me. This is not coming from me directly, this is coming from Tinubu. Tinubu tells Supreme Court. Page 5 captured this story. It also has a rider that says petition was mere blockbuster with thrilling suspect hide and seek. You can find this on page 5 on the Vanguard newspaper this morning. CBN at World Bank announces $1 trillion GDP target. You can find this on page 4 on the Vanguard newspaper this morning. On Israel-Hamas war, Sultan's JNI sues for peace as UN warns of dire conditions in Gaza. Page 5 captured this story. LPPC elevates 58 lawyers to SAN rank. Page 8 also captures this particular story. On sports column, we have 2023 AFCON Super Eagles draw Algeria, Mozambique, Zambia. You can find this on page 31 on the sports column. We also have columnist Owen Lakenfa, children, women, the elderly are dying in this conflict. The immediate task of humanity is to stop this slaughter. You can also find this on the Vanguard newspaper this morning. All of these and many more stories you get to see on the Vanguard newspaper this morning. Going into the details.
The first story on the Vanguard newspaper this morning, the article could up allegations against me. Tinubu tells Supreme Court.
Alright, picking the first story on the Vanguard newspaper this morning.
Sorry, the network.
I think there's a disruption in the network. Alright, we need.
Let's go for a short commercial break. When we come back, we'll give you details on the Vanguard and the Punch newspaper. Do stay with us.
Thousands have been disappointed severally in their bid to seek greener pasture abroad. To those quack in the traveling agency business, it is a rocket science. That is not our case at Tausaf Travels and Tour. We have in-depth details on how to successfully, without stress, help you process and secure your visa to anywhere in the world. Do you want permanent residential visa, visiting and tourism visa, student visa to places like Europe, America, Asia, Africa? It's no big deal to us at Tausaf Travels and Tour. Our years of experience and expertise speaks volume for us. Let's process and secure visa for you to UK, USA, and Canada within a twinkle of an eye. We offer Hajj and Umrah services to our Muslim faithfuls. What are you waiting for? Consult us at number 9 Tausaf Central Mosque, Sholanke Street, behind Laroy Hotel, Abiola Way, Abeokuta. 0802 733 0900 or 0806 578 4060. Stop wasting money. Pay for peace of mind. Talk to Tausaf Travels and Tour.
Gbogbo aláfẹ́ tó gbayì tó fẹ́ wọṣọ yìí ṣoge tó bágbàmú ló ń kọjá lọ sí House of Zayana. House of Zayana, the name I know when we talk of top-notch fashion, quality materials and class. House of Zayana, lẹ́tí máa rójúlówó Turkey wears, Egypt and Malaysia clothing, Dubai, àwọn designer bags lóríṣiríṣi, àwọn ìtẹ̀lẹ̀ bàtà tó jiná tí wọ́n fawọ́ original ṣe, àwọn aago kájọ́ tó ń ka wákàtí ọjọ́, designer sunglasses and perfumes, pẹ̀lú àwọn gbogbo nǹkan tóbìnrin àsìkò fi ń gbafẹ́ lò gbà. Mo débẹ̀ ojú mi ń ṣe kámi, èmi ni ó rà, èmi ni ó mú. Gbogbo ẹ̀yin mùsùlùmí ẹlẹ́sìn tẹ́ gbòógè gbọ́n pa fashion tẹ́ wá nílò jàlábíà, hijab àti àbáyà lóríṣiríṣi. House of Zayana lẹ́ ò ti rí gbogbo ẹ̀ rà. House of Zayana wà ní 52 Ọlọ́run ṣògo road adjacent Redeemed Church Agape Parish Ọlọ́run ṣògo Abẹ́òkúta. Lórí Instagram House of Zayana 08165688618. House of Zayana, ilé ìtajà tá a ti ń tojúlówó aṣọ àti nǹkan aṣaralóge tí ń gbéni níyì.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. We're still on Freshlight on Al-IyamoyeTv. I'm still on the Vanguard newspaper. The first story of the Vanguard newspaper, article cooked up allegation against me, Tinubu tells Supreme Court. President Bola Tinubu has asked the Supreme Court to dismiss and appeal the 2023 candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, filed to nullify his election. Tinubu, in a 42-page brief of argument filed through his team of 17 lawyers, comprising 10 senior advocates of Nigeria, urged the Apex Court to affirm what he terms as a well-considered decision of the Court of Appeal, which, while setting as the Presidential Election Petition Court (PEPC) on September 6, dismissed the joint petition Atiku and his party entered against him, while insisting that he was validly returned by the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) as the winner of the February 25 presidential poll. Tinubu told the Apex Court that by statistics, he garnered 25% of the total vote cast in 25 states of the Federation. He told the court that the former vice president and PDP only managed to secure 25% of the total vote in 21 states of the Federation, as against the constitutional requirement of 24.7 states, which the mathematical result of 2/3 of 36 states of the Federation and FCT making 37. Article cooked up allegation against me. Tinubu tells the Supreme Court. To read details of this, you can pick up the Vanguard newspaper for more details.
Still on the Vanguard newspaper this morning, food production threatened by climate change. This is coming from Agric Minister, and the report from Gabriel Ewepu and Favor Ulebo. As Nigerians grapple with food challenges, the Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Senator Abubakar Kyari, Thursday expressed deep worries over threats posed by climate change impact on food production and food security. Kyari stated this while speaking at the Sahel Food System Changemakers Conference with the theme Rethinking Food and Nutrition Security in Face of Climate Change, Scaling Innovation and Driving Urgent Public-Private Partnership Actions, held in Abuja. The minister, who was represented by Sugram Mahmood, called on stakeholders in both public and private sectors to mobilize resources to confront climate change. He said, "We must unite our efforts, harnessing the strength of both the public and private sector, including the informal sector. By doing so, we can mobilize the resources, expertise, and innovations and necessary to confront climate change head-on. However, we must act urgently. Climate change is not waiting for us to catch up. The challenges are pressing, the consequences are severe and should not be contemplated. We must invest in agriculture, sustainable land management, and development of resilient food systems." In this journey, the President Tinubu-led administration commits to playing a lead role. We will work tirelessly to create an enabling environment for innovations and investors. This is coming from Abubakar Kyari. Food production threatened by climate change. Vanguard newspaper has it this morning.
Still on the Vanguard newspaper, on the foreign scene, Iran urges US to control Israel to avert regional war. The United States must rein in Israel to avert regional split over of the war with Hamas, Iran top diplomat said Friday in Beirut, adding that Tehran was seeking to safeguard Lebanon's security. Foreign Minister Hussein Ahmed Abdullahian spoke as Hamas and Israel traded heavy fire for a seventh day after hundreds of Hamas gunmen stormed across the border for Gaza into Israel on Saturday and killed 1,200 people. Israel has retaliated by raining air and artillery strike on Hamas, targets in the Gaza Strip, leaving more than 1,350 people dead. America wants to give Israel a chance to destroy Gaza, and this is a grave mistake, Amir Abdullahian said, adding if the Americans want to prevent the war in the region from developing, they must control Israel. Although Tehran has been a long-term backer of Palestinian Islamic group Hamas, Iranian officials have been adamant that Islamic Republic had no involvement in the militant group's weekend attack on Israel, looking to the hold of split over fighting into Lebanon's following borders tension in recent days. Amir Abdullahian arrived in Beirut on Thursday night following the stop in Baghdad. Lebanon's security and peace is important to us, Amir Abdullahian said after meeting with Lebanese Prime Minister Najib Mikati. Iran urges US to control Israel to avert regional war. Last on the Vanguard newspaper, we move on to the Punch newspaper from that angle.
Alright, so on the Punch, picking the last newspaper on Freshlight this morning, we are picking Punch as the last newspaper. Articles evidence from Chicago irrelevant, Tinubu tells Supreme Court. You can find this on page 25 on the Punch newspaper this morning. Israeli Hamas, US, UK, India evacuate citizens, deaths hit 2,700. You can find this story on the page 28 on the Punch newspaper. Complete AAK gas pipeline 2024 FG orders contractors. You can find this on page 19 on the Punch newspaper this morning. Picking the major headlines: CBN raises dollar supply, lift ban on cement, 42 items. Page 2 captured this story. It also has double riders. 8-year forex ban on rice. 42 orders removed. CBN insists on single forex rate. On private sector, manufacturers hails federal government. Cardoso plans more forex policy reviews. You can find this on the page 2 on the Punch newspaper this morning. Diesel-laden tanker crashes on Lagos highway. Trap bus. To read this sad story, you can pick page 4 and page 5 on the Punch newspaper this morning. LPPC names 58 lawyer. SAN drops 11 professors. You can find this on page 28 on the Punch newspaper this morning. Away from that, True die, others injured in Oshun collapsed building. To read this sad story, you can pick page 4 and 5 on the Punch newspaper this morning. Still on the Punch newspaper, PSC promotes 12 commissioners, 5,706 police personnel. All of these and many more stories you find on the Punch newspaper this morning. Going into the details.
The first story on the Punch newspaper this morning: UK varsity seeks NUC's approval to operate in Nigeria. Officials from the London Academic Business School and the University of Sunderland are currently seeking approval from the National Universities Commission to run the degrees program in Nigeria. A delegation from the University of Sunderland, led by Dr. Derek Watson, confirmed this after a meeting with the acting executive secretary of the NUC, Chris Meyaki, in Abuja, according to a statement released on Thursday. According to the statement, Watson, an associate professor from the Faculty of Business Law and Tourism, was quoted to have said the meeting with the executive secretary was very productive. The University of Sunderland has over 30 years of experience. He said, and I quote, "We were the first UK university to market. What we have agreed on today is the criticality of following the compliance procedure. In addition to that, we will source credible academics to deliver our program from labs who are qualified teachers and also practicing consultants. The students will get the same experience as those students studying in England." The president and Doctor of Studies, London Academic Business School, Dr. Larry Jones-Esson, explained the visit to the NUC was to get the nod to run programs in Nigeria. UK varsity seeks NUC approval to operate in Nigerian universities. To read details of this, you can pick the Punch newspaper.
While taking my trip to Lagos State this morning, Army recovers 93 unexploded bombs in Lagos. The Nigerian Army said it has recovered 93 unexploded ordnances, also known as bombs, at the Ikeja military cantonment in Lagos in its ongoing operation dubbed Exercise Clean Sweep. The exercise flag off on Tuesday was to clear the area following the 2002 bomb blast that rocked the cantonment. The recovered bombs, according to the Army, were in various calibers and descriptions. The director of the Directorate of Explosives Search and Disposal, Nigerian Army Engineers Coordinator of Exercise Clean Sweep, Colonel Abdulrazak Kazim, made the disclosure in his maiden brief of the update on Thursday, exercise on Thursday. He said, "We have so far recovered 93 ordnances of different calibers. So at 93, we are not yet up to the explosives. We measure it in kilograms. So once we get to that particular explosive limit, then we move to the single range." He said, despite past clearance and disposal exercise at the site, there have been several reports of the discovery of remnants of UXOLs within and around the vicinity of the bomb blast, much to the detriment of the safety and security of the inhabitants of the cantonment and environment. On his part, the safety officer, Lieutenant Colonel Oluseyi Oladapo Bamikole, said necessary measures have been put in place for the safety of personnel, and as they have made adequate equipment available, including demarcations and trained personnel to identify UXO before recovery from the site. To read details of this, you can pick the Punch newspaper this morning. It has this headline: 93 bombs have been discovered in Lagos State. To read details of this, you can pick Punch newspaper this morning.
And lastly, from my side on the Punch Sports column, 2023 AFCON. Eagles draw host Ivory Coast, Guinea-Bissau, Equatorial Guinea. Nigeria will begin their quest for the 4th African Cup of Nations title in 2024 against the tournament host Ivory Coast, alongside Equatorial Guinea and Guinea-Bissau. The draw, which was conducted at a colorful ceremony inside the brand new Parc des Exposition in Abidjan, Ivory Coast on Thursday, was hosted by global music star Akon, a heavyweight quartet of African biggest current and former football superstar Didier Drogba, Mikel Obi, Sadio Mane, and Achraf Hakimi supported the Confederation of African Football as draw assistants during the pairing. The Super Eagles were sailed in Port 2, following their drop in FIFA ranking released in September. By their setting, the 3-time African champion knew they faced the task of coming up against one of the top-seeded teams on the continent. While they avoided a confrontation against the North African side, Jose Peseiro's men were, however, handed a tricky start to their campaign with a game against the Elephants. The match at the 60,000 capacity Alassane Ouattara Stadium in Abidjan is one of the most highly anticipated of the tournament group stage fixtures. Ivory Coast has won the tournament on 2 occasions, first in 1992 and later in 2015. 2023 AFCON, Eagles draw host Ivory Coast, Guinea-Bissau, Equatorial Guinea. To read details of this, you can pick the Punch Sports column this morning.
Away from Lagos State, I will be taking my trip to Kaduna this morning. Kaduna governor warns against sales of forms for palliatives. The Kaduna State government, Uba Sani, on Friday warned criminal elements allegedly selling forms in communities across the state to residents before becoming beneficiaries of palliatives and other intervention before provided by the government to desist from the heart. He gave the warning in a statement signed by his chief press secretary, Mohammed Lawal Shehu. I categorically condemn the unwholesome acts by the criminal element in our midst, and members of the public are here informed that there are no forms on sale under any guise for palliative or social register. Kano State Governor is committed to ensure that the palliative gets to the true beneficiaries to achieve this field. The governor set up the palliative committee in July 2023 to come up with the modalities for distribution of these palliatives. The committee has been lauded as high inclusive, comprising representatives of the Nigerian Labour Congress, Trade Union Congress, other members of the organized labor, religious and traditional leaders, civil society organizations, persons with disabilities, local government chairmen, youth and women groups. To read details of this, you can pick the Punch newspaper this morning. Kaduna government warns against sales of forms for palliatives. Punch newspaper punches it out this morning, and this is where we are going to draw the curtain of Freshlight this morning. Don't forget to join us tomorrow for another interesting edition of Freshlight. I remain RISQAT SULAIMON.
And I am SOWOLE MOSHOOD. God bless Nigeria, God bless Ogun State, and God bless Al-IyamoyeTv. Now, we use this opportunity to greet our Zayana Tawid happy birthday, long life, and prosperity.
Happy birthday, Zayana.